Ladies and gentlemen, today's very special guest is Mr. Jeff Robinson. We're going to talk about life and life's evolutions and changes. We're going to talk about career and career changes. We're going to talk about what does it mean to be a black man in the middle of everything that's going on right now. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff. Sit back, relax, and enjoy yourself. TBR Live, interesting conversation with interesting people. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Our very special guest tonight is the Jeff Robinson. We're going to talk about life and career. We might tell some jokes. I'm not real sure what's going to happen tonight. We're going to have a good time. Welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thank you, sir. Thank you for having me, man. I'm excited to be here.
We've been planning to do this for a while. Looking forward.
I know, right? Right. We've been talking about this.
All right. So, first question: who is Jeff Robinson?
Oh, okay. You doing an Oprah kind of thing. Okay. Wow. All right. No prep or nothing. Well, you know that's not a hard question to answer. I would definitely say now Jeff Robinson is a man who's focused, who's determined, who understands who he is, understands what he wants, who has a pretty clear picture at this point of where God wants to take him, and is pretty confident in his ability to get there and to do it. That would sum me up at this place in my life.
Okay. Okay. I got you.
I don't know. Were you looking for something a little more spiritual? You want me to say something real heavenly and divine?
Oh man, I want you to say whatever you want, man.
But it's my truth. It is. I mean, but all that is spiritual. It is my truth. It is being clear about just who I am and where I want to go, and just knowing what I need to be doing, and just just staying focused. So there we go.
Okay. So when I met you a long time ago, back when I had some hair, you were a musician. Are you still a musician, or have you moved on from that, or what's going on with that?
Well, I mean, I know how to play.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I still am a musician. Am I actively playing anywhere? No, I'm not really interested. I have kind of, I think sometimes you can evolve. And I know when I share this with people, sometimes they go, oh my God, God gave you a gift to do this, and and it is what it is. I think sometimes we evolve, just like singers become preachers, and you don't necessarily sing with choirs and stuff like that, So to answer your question, I still can't play. I haven't practiced in a while, so don't ask me to play nothing, and I don't allow anybody to put me in that position. But I think it was just time for me to evolve. That's been a good run, and I think it's just time to evolve into some other things.
Okay. All right. So we got all that out the way. So that now I want to put my foot on the gas. Black man in America, black man in the middle of everything that's going on. What are your thoughts about being, number one, black, number two, being a man in the middle of where we are right now?
Well, wow. First of all, I love being black. Although my people sometimes work my nerve, that's a whole nother show. But I love being black. I think black people are some of the most creative, some of the most gifted, some of the most copied, some of the most stolen from, some of the most just envied group of people on this planet. I mean, and so knowing that gives me such a sense of pride. If you asked if I was to come back, would I be would I not be black? Nope. I'd want to be black. You know, I'd still be frustrated with things, but I'd want to be black. Being a black man in where we are now, and I think it was what 2020 and the pandemic and all the uprising and the protesting and all the challenges with the race relations. How do I feel? As far as being a black man during this time, I don't feel bad. I am. There's a piece of me. It's kind of split. I am. I'm concerned, of course, because of what's going on, but I'm happy. I'm real excited. I'm excited because finally some attention is getting, and there's been some legitimacy to what we've been saying for years. And in conversations I've had with people of other races, I think they think because we had Obama and we got Oprah, you know, and Steve Harvey, that it's obviously not as bad as we've made it. And then you've got idiots like, I'm sorry. You have people like that old crazy Stacey Dash girl that gets on Fox News and says stupid stuff like, you know, we don't need BET, and it's just stupid stuff. And then you got the sweet little innocent cuckoo called Candace Owens, who, you know, has some level of truth, but then who's being manipulated by the conservative party, I believe. So she's twisting, you know, got enough truth to get your attention, but twisting it enough and perverting it enough. So that's where my concern is. My concern even isn't so much about, that's my biggest concern, I say. It is of course with, you know, KKK, but that's kind of always been there, and that's something we've always tried to pay attention to and be cognizant of. But my concern in this time is when you have those Black people that raise up and promote ignorance that continually that supports the agenda of the hate groups, because they've been brainwashed and got some levels of truth mixed with what they've been brainwashed to feel. I mean, when you say something like there's no systemic racism in the police department, I mean, come on. And when you know and she's an intelligent girl. I'm talking about that Candace Owens chick. You know, she's not stupid. So why would, come on, Stevie Wonder can see that. I mean, you know, how do you not say that? How do you not say racism? You know, and I followed her, and I'm not even getting ready to give this whole platform to her. But those are the things that concerns me is us during this time, because the hateful folk have always been who they are. My concern is, will we rise the way we're expecting them to rise? So that's how I feel about, number one, being a Black man and being a Black man during this time. I am excited because there's now some validity to what we've been talking about and what we've been hurting over, and people are starting to see it, and people are supporting it, and people are joining in the fight and even risking their lives. But then I'm concerned, will we, now that we're starting to get what we wanted, the attention and the support, will we now start rising up to the occasion? That's my biggest concern, more than the KKK.
Okay. Well, let me throw this one at you.
Throw it.
So there was a situation in scripture where this guy was at this pool, and he had been laying there for years at the edge of it. And so Jesus rose up on him, and he essentially asked him, does he want to be made whole? His desire was to be healed from his issue. But Jesus asked him if he wanted to be made whole. So my question is, as it relates to us and our people, which is more valuable? Being healed, or are people being made whole?
Wholeness for sure. You know, I mean, because along with wholeness is going to come healing. And you know, and that's a really good example, because what that guy at the pool is doing is what we do. And he's like, oh Lord, help me. Every time the angel come, I try to get in and don't nobody want to help me. And what, when you really look at that, it was like, dude, you right there. You right there. But again, that's us. That is us. We're right there, but we're whining about, oh, they got my, they got their foot on my neck, and the old whitey ain't gonna let us do this. And I mean, it's just, that's what Jesus comes with. Do you want this or not? And in that very same scenario, Jesus never did abracadabra. He never did Shazam.
Right.
Do you want this?
Right.
And he decided
right.
that although all around him were sick people, although all around him were lame people and people, and you can walk in, you can hear, But when he decided, Jesus never touched him. He didn't sling no oil. He didn't give him no stimulus package. He didn't do nothing. He just said, do you want it? Wilt thou? And because he made a decision, in spite of what was around him, in spite of the oppression around him, he got his behind up. And when we really stop going, the white folk, they didn't put they have really done good with that control. All that has true from the Jim Crow. It is doesn't take anything away from what has happened. But this is where I probably get some slack. This is why I agree with a lot of white people. It's like, but if you can decide to loot, if you can decide to shoot, if you can decide anything else, why is it that when it comes to doing better for yourself, then we always revert to something that was planted 30 years ago?
Excellent.
I don't understand that. But you can make a decision today about anything. We are the most creative people. Listen, something just happened here in Chicago. There was a shooting. A policeman shot a guy, and he did live, but it was like within hours. They were not rioting, but they were protesting and looting. And they were in, from what I understand, they were in 3 different locations. Now, I thought, this is interesting. How strategic this was. And, then they got pictures of us, of course, walking out stores, it's just, and even one guy, a jury owner said, he went into a store and said, hey guys, please don't do this. Don't do this. He said, the guys were very nice. He was on television, on the news. He said, they were very nice. They said, sir, please get out of the way. I heard, now I didn't see this, but I didn't see this part, but they said the folk ended up bringing the guy donuts and coffee. So it was strategic. This was planned. We can participate in a planning to steal. And I don't know if Black people were completely behind it or the originator, but our stupid behinds were a part of it.
Gotcha.
And if we can put that energy into looting, I'm sorry. And I understand everybody want to go rioting. Martin Luther King said rioting is the voice of the unheard. Well, you've been rioting. Okay, we hear you. We hear it. We hear it. We hear you. And so you can't keep giving that an excuse. So I mean, so my point is, I have to agree with a lot of white America that says, okay, but you guys can be so strong enough to do all this stuff. If we just took that energy and worked on us. I mean, the gangs here for a day stopped fighting. When the stuff was really at the protest, the gangs made a truce. So that's big. Whoa, I'm trying not to go crazy, but come on, y'all. Come on. So I just, we take that like the guy at the pool. Whoa, ain't nobody here to help me. I can't. And all he had to do was just maybe lean up and put his finger right in the water because he was that close.
Yeah, or just roll over.
Close.
Yeah.
All he had to do was just.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no doubt.
That's what we do. Yeah. And that's why Jesus like, I ain't got nothing for you. This is on you. But that's the message. A lot of our oppression it's because of us. And once we make a decision, he was sick. Yes, he was sick. Yes, he was sick. Yes, has white America, hateful America, did the Jim Crow, have they done a number on us? Yes. But when do you decide that I ain't gonna take this anymore? Especially those of us that got our black behinds in the church, flipping and spitting and stanking and shouting about how great our God is, and you worshiping and got your arms up for 30 minutes. But boy, when it come to white America, we victims. You know, they ain't gonna let us. I mean, you know, my friends tease me. My white friend said, "You got some Republican in you." I was like, "No, it ain't got nothing to do with that." You know, there are certain beliefs I have. I can't accept, especially for those of us that are Christians. I can never accept. I don't care what Jim Crow did. I don't care what 400 years of slavery did. We always use that. We got 400 years of this, and we only been civil rights for 50 years, but then you want to tell people in church get delivered tomorrow. But yet when it comes to us, we want to take another 400 years before, you know, and what's going to happen is we ain't going to overcome. A friend of mine says that, and I used to disagree with him, but we ain't. We're going to be like the children of Israel. There's going to be a bunch of y'all, not us, because I ain't going to be that. There's going to be a bunch of y'all that God going to have to kill and raise up a new generation, which is happening.
Yeah. It's
happening. That whole generation did not make it to the promised land because they had some, and I don't know if I said this to you, they had something that I heard Miles Monroe said. I'm going to do a podcast, or we got to talk about this at some point. But he said there's a difference between deliverance and freedom. He said the children of Israel were delivered when God brought them out of Egypt and they went into the wilderness. Yes. He said, but they couldn't go into the promised land because they were never free. Because although they were delivered from Egypt, they couldn't get Egypt out of their minds.
Right, correct.
So they were never free. They were delivered, but were never free. And that's why they missed it. And that's what's wrong. We've been delivered from slavery. We've been delivered, but we never free. And the Bible tells us, you let this mind be in you. Not call white America and ask them to fix you. You got to do it. And for those of us that name Christ, we got all the tools. So it's BS. Black people get mad at me, but I'm not accepting that. Especially from Christians. Stop talking about Peter, you the head, not the tail, and you royalty. Sit your behind down. You don't believe that. You don't believe that. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got another.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. That's okay.
You know, I get passionate about stuff because I love my people. I love them. And and we don't realize, we don't know who he is.
Right.
We don't know who he is, man. I know that's bad English, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And we're blaming everybody else, like the man at the pool. Ain't nobody here to help me in. Every time I try to get in, somebody get ahead of me. White people just keep pushing me back, you know. And Jesus is like, do you whoop out? I mean, you know, I'm surprised he didn't cuss. I mean, he may have, they just didn't write it. But, you know, I would have. I'd have been like, they'd have had bleeps all in the Bible. Bleep, 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 bleep. You know, they'd be like, is this a bad ink spot? No, he cussed right there. We couldn't print this.
So let me ask you this. If you could grade or put a score on what the church is doing right now in this time, what grade or what score would you give us?
You just exhausted me with that question. So, can I smoke a cigarette? I don't even smoke cigarettes, but I will need a cigarette. What the church is doing, F. Well, as a whole, I will, yes, F. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. And of course, this does not go to every single church. There are some organizations that are doing something. But as a whole, as an entity that can have so much power, I say F. Because first of all, we spent the first month or so fumbling around trying to figure out how to have service because we're so dated, we're so behind. We were not prepared for remote because we're so controlling. So the whole first month or so, if you remember, everybody was going raising hell over why we can't go into a building. F. We got an F, and the F can stand for a whole lot of things. I just think, you know, we got an F. So we spent the first month instead of making sure the sheep don't get scattered. We spent this first month fighting, talking about government can't tell us what to do, and Bible says, forsake not the assembling yourselves together. And what am I gonna do? You know, and I mean, and then you know, and then the rest of the time, you know, we were trying to figure it out. You know, and I get it. Nobody was prepared for it.
Right.
But instead of hustling to let's do what we need to do, we lost a whole, and so you got a whole lot of people, and you may be coming to that, that's like, you know, sitting in at home works for me.
Yeah, yeah. I've heard a lot of that.
I give us an F. I give us an F. Because we do what we always do. Instead of adapting to change, we fight, resist it, try to manipulate it and control it. And then when you have no choice, we're always behind trying to do it. You know, we're behind.
Gotcha.
So I say F because tell me seriously,
Uh-huh.
where have we as a church, you know, we managed to figure out how to do a choir thing and everybody's singing from their house. We managed to figure that out. You know how, you know, definitely know how to do Cash App. We got that part. Oh, I think that's probably the first thing, you know. But again, you know, you still got, which is great for people like some of my social marketing experts, you know. But you done fought Facebook so bad, you done talked about it so bad. Now if you want to have a church, you got to use it. You know, and again, we just spend so much time fighting it instead of how do we do this? What do we do? And so we lost a lot. And so now a lot of people, myself included, but I mean, I've kind of been on this page anyway. You know, I mean, of course, when church starts back, I'm gonna go. But I ain't gonna lie and tell you that I'm like, whew, because we've proven, and that was the other thing we were fighting. You know, we've proven to the people that we ain't got to sit up in here 3 hours.
True. Very true.
Their church, you know, and again, this isn't every church, but I'm just saying, you know, I feel like we failed miserably. But we've been failing. We've been having a low grade for the longest. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, we have. As an overall, we've been having a low grade. I mean, really, what has the church been doing lately to impact the world? Here it is, race issues. What we doing? Mm-hmm. We've got all other kind of issues, even stuff that they just didn't agree with. What have you done other than got on your platform and criticized? Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying the church is responsible for fixing everything, but you sure don't have a problem commenting. You sure don't have a problem criticizing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so, you know, what about the crime? You know, all we want to do is come together and have prayer. We'll do that.
Yeah.
But where's the action? Yeah. We should be, if you got that much of a problem with Donald Trump, then the churches, because that's the main place where Black people can come together and not get arrested because we're all in one place. That's the platform to be empowering your people to vote, make their voice have a difference. I can tell you some things we can do. The churches we should be involved in politics, especially now with a Trump and with all this going on. We need to be involved in politics. And you don't have to necessarily tell people what to vote, but encourage people. If you don't like what's going on in your city, do we even know who your aldermen are? Do you know who your Senate people are? Do you know who's the house in your city? Most of us don't even know that until they're ready to get reelected.
Right.
So we go to the polls and we You know, I guess if you're Democrat, then you just select all Democrats. But you might be voting for a Democrat that is totally against what you believe.
Mhm.
But you don't even know who they are. You just guessing. And I've been guilty of that too.
Mhm.
So I'm saying, and you know, if the church can take responsibility for getting all in your life, tell you who you should have sex with, and tell you who you should, what you can and cannot say, what you can't, but then why not let's get all involved in something that's going to help us impact the world? So F.
Okay. All right. Let's shift gears just a little bit. Let's say November rolls around and you become the president of the United States.
Me.
Yes, sir. So, what would be the first 3 prime directives that you would get into?
That's a good question. Uh, hmm. I think the 3 top things for me would be, because I have to think about, and I know this is what everybody gave Obama hell for. I have to be mindful that I'm the president of the country. However, I would have some. I would have to have some direction to Black people, because
Okay.
we've overlooked a whole
Yeah.
lot. I don't know about necessarily reparations, but I would definitely be looking into things that will allow us to thrive, that will take off the caps, you know, whether it be, I don't know, housing, loan, lending, stuff like that. I would probably, because I know like systems like public aid, I would change some things like that, because
Okay.
I know I would go back to how kind of it used to be, where you couldn't get assistance if you wasn't getting some kind of education or trying to get a job
Okay.
or stuff like that, you know, because it used to be that way.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, you can't just encourage them to have babies because they're gonna get more. No, the more the babies you have, you're gonna probably get less. You know, and if you want to keep doing this, you know, we need to do so. I would definitely be looking at the systems that oppress Black people, and I wouldn't be ashamed to say I am going to be looking at stuff for my people. You know,
Okay.
I'm gonna do stuff for everybody. I mean, it's, you know, when you talk about the economy, those are just, you know, that stuff they do all the time, and the economy is gonna always do what it's gonna do. One president is gonna flop, next president is gonna come up. One president is gonna flop, you know, the next president is gonna come up. Definitely something for Black people, but as it relates to like business and the economy, I do think we need to. I understand the concept of why businesses get bigger tax breaks. I understand why they do that.
Yeah.
I think though we should share the wealth a little bit. You know,
Okay.
I do. I do. I'm not saying break them down, you know, where they can't do anything. But I doubt, you know, you got $7 billion. I understand, you know, if you're not providing jobs for people and you just making $7 billion a year, you're gonna pay like the rest of us, you know.
Mhm.
But if you're a business and you are providing jobs for people and things like that, and then I think for just the people, I would look at maybe just let's look at some kind of flat something. I mean, the states still got to do the things they do, but that would kind of be my thing as far as the economy and stuff like that. Definitely for Black people, I would have to, because and not like dance around that. And then of course there's healthcare. I am for universal healthcare, but put
Okay.
it together in a way where, you know, where the healthcare companies can still benefit. I mean, because they're business. That's what I said. That's what people laugh and say I might be part Republican. I get that. I mean, our country run. You know, we got to have the businesses. I never really understood why it was such a big deal, because if we're guaranteeing everybody have insurance, all the insurance companies get paid. Everybody's getting paid. So, and I understand maybe they felt there was going to be, they couldn't shyster or whatever, but so what? You can get your bonuses and, you know, just kind of maybe leave some leeway open. But I definitely think we ought to look at healthcare. I mean, because there are countries that are doing it, they're doing really well with it. You know, so healthcare would probably be something, but definitely looking at the systems like the police and all that. How can we immediately address? What can we immediately address, and what will take some time, but I can put in place during my presidency. That, and then start looking at just how we're taxing everybody, you know, and then just the healthcare. Those would be kind of three big things for me.
Okay, all right. Keep your president hat on for a second. Let me throw something at you.
All right, make America black again. MABA, not MAGA, but MABA.
So there's no fair way to answer this question. I'm gonna say that in advance. It's just not fair.
It's set up.
However, who is treated the worst? The black man or the black woman? And if you're gonna help us, who gets it first?
Oh, well, okay. And I got to kind of pick who gets it first.
Yes, sir.
Ooh. Well, I definitely think the black man. I'm going to tell you why, because we're feared the most. We're, especially as we elevate and educate ourselves, that just intimidates them. It scares them. You know, which goes back to, you know, 4,000 years ago. You know, because they will open the door, and because part of that strategy is to be better to the black women, so that the sisters can say, I got my own money, I don't need no man. You know, they can do that and continually emasculate the man. You know, so the black man definitely has it worse in that aspect. So I would, but here's the twist. So you would think my answer would be help the black man first. And I kind of lean that way. My concern is I think I would get further helping the woman with hopes that she would do to try to help the man.
Okay.
I think dealing with the mindset of us might be a little more challenging for the men. That's just my opinion.
I got you.
But I would definitely want to help the black man first. So and nobody go, you should help the black. You want to lift them up, da da da. But okay, we also have to have some level of reality here. I mean, you gotta understand, it was black men that attacked Obama, Jesse Jackson, when he got on and said black fathers ought to do better. I mean, that was overall what he was saying. And we think when people, I mean, Bill Cosby, the whole attack on Bill Cosby came when he talked about the black community. We need to, pull ourselves together. Black men.
Yeah.
So, it would be, we need to help the most, but what happens when we get it? Will we really support and build each other? I would, have to figure out how would I do that, because the women, you have more of a chance that because they love their men and all that of doing something, but we the one that really need it and need to be shooting up to the top. So I don't know, that would be difficult. That would be difficult. But to answer that question, the black man is definitely treated the worst. Who would I help first? I would really want to help the black man first because he needs it, but I would have to weigh that out and see, okay, what's going to get me more progress? Because can the woman be more empowered, and then she can help bring the black man over, or do I put it in the black man with hopes that he gets it and we pull each other up and we do this and not take it off and buy some more sneakers, So that's that.
Okay, so how best way to ask this question. Okay, so black man, white man, both have their hand on a hate button. And I've asked somebody else this question. I want to pose it to you.
Okay.
In order for us to move forward, in order for there to be some healing, in order for us to be made whole, or whatever the case is going to be, who has to take their hand off the hate button first?
So your question is, in order for there to be healing,
yes,
who has to take their hands off first?
Because the issue is, if we're both holding on to the hate button,
Right, black and white. So in order for healing, who has to take the hand off first? I
Yeah.
don't know if, well, that I think that answer can, for me, okay, so here's my answer.
Okay.
If you want self-healing, you take it off and heal.
Okay.
If we're talking healing amongst the races, then they both have to. Because they both have to. I would believe they both have to, because we're talking you and I be healed.
Mm-hmm.
So that means you and I got to work together and participate. And we can't be healed if we're holding on to hate. But now, if you're just talking about healing and being healed, I say whoever if you want to be healed, whoever wants to be healed needs to take the hand off. So if the black man is like, you know what, I'm not walking around with this hate. I'm not gonna do this. Or if the white guy's like, you know what, you can think all white people are bad and hate us all. I'm not gonna carry this. Then take your hand off and let's do this. But in order for there to be healing amongst both parties, they both got to do it. I don't see how it's because me healing alone is not enough for the entire thing. It's enough for me and the space that I walk in, and maybe I can possibly drop some seeds somewhere, and it eventually. But even with dropping seeds, and even with being love, and even in showing love, it still has to impact them to want to change. So they still at some point got to take you can't have hate and love in the same space.
Right.
So they have to at some point be ready, wanting to take their hand off it. So that's my, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
I agree with if I want to be healed, then I have to release the button. It can't be about the other person. It's gotta be about me. Because the reality of all things is my healing and my being made whole should never have anything to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
It should never happen, because then I'm basically the puppet, and my emotions, my mental health, and the whole thing is kind of contingent on what you do. If I leave it in your hands,
right.
And so I kind of have to take ownership and responsibility of that myself. But I like asking people questions like that, because when we discuss these things, there has to be a practicality to how we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
We can talk all we want, but it doesn't matter until we do something. So, Mr. President, let me ask you a question. You're the president. Are you going to sign an executive order demanding reparation for Black people?
I hadn't thought about it. I mean, I'm looking at everybody else, but I hadn't thought if I was president, would I do that? Okay, this is probably I might get in trouble for this one. I would say I would do it with some stipulations.
Okay.
I would. I'm not. I wouldn't be handing out a horse and 40 acres. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it, because when you hand out stuff like that to people who have not been trained, educated, or empowered on how to handle it, they'll be right back where they were. Again, delivered but not free. So I would definitely do something like that. I would definitely strive to do something like that under some conditions. No, y'all not going down to the currency exchange and just cashing a reparations check. Nope. We're gonna put it in this. You pass some little educational thing, or you do some something. We can do that. Or you go through, but to just hand it out. I don't care what they did for the Jews. The reason why I feel like when somebody say, well, they just did it for the Jews and da. Yeah, but they are more educated on money management and how to do that. We're not. As a culture, we aren't. So I don't care. And they can get mad at me, and therein lies the problem. We just want some help. They took it and bought up stuff. They took it and invested. They took it. We just want somebody to put some money. And then 6 months later, you'll be right back where you were. So no, I'm willing to make you mad at me as your president to keep you from being worse than what you were. You know, no. So yeah, I would do it. There would be, it wouldn't just be a handout, but it would be in different type of systems. It would be allowing, you know, freeing up that, taking away that red, like I think they're doing this in Asheville, North Carolina. They're like removing the red zone for bank loans and home loans. Because red zones is basically where a lot of banks got marked where Black people live. And they're considered high risk.
Okay.
You know, so, you know, you remove those kind of, removing a lot of barriers and ensuring that, you know, and maybe even give incentives to certain companies if they do this for African Americans. You know, I'm not opposed to some level of finance, but no, this ain't gonna be a stimulus package. It ain't gonna be like that. You're going to have to do some stuff for it. We're just not gonna do that. There will be some things I would do that would maybe improve some conditions, but I wouldn't just hand it to you all. We would just work, you know, if it's building some stuff in the communities, then we'll hire contractors to do this, we'll do that. But no. And they just have to get mad at me because that's what most of people want. They just well, give me a check. No, get somewhere and sit down. No, I ain't doing that.
Okay. This is a complicated question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway.
All right.
So there's a system of white supremacy.
It is.
There is a system in play. That's what I heard. That's what I was told, right?
I'm privileged. I don't know what you're talking about.
So let me ask you a question. If that was removed, the system was gone and people just got out of Black people's way and just let them do whatever it is that they're going to do. In other words, don't block them from getting paid. Don't block them from getting certain jobs. Just get out of the way and let Black people do whatever it is that they do. Would the Black population thrive left alone?
A good portion of, I would say 30% yes. Absolutely. 30% yes, maybe 40. Absolutely. That other 70, no. Because, I mean, it goes back to this. It goes back to this. You know, you give it a mindset, but I definitely think we will see some great improvements because you got guys like yourself, me, and other women and men that's just like, hey, just remove the lid, man. We don't mind going to get it. Just take the lid off. Yeah. Stop prejudging us when we walk in the room and give us the same opportunities. There are many Black, I would say 30% maybe, absolutely. They'd see an instant 30% surge. But then there's that 70. I feel like that's when, especially when I look at what we're doing. Look at what we do to each other. You know, I believe there's that 70%. No, and when I say left alone, I'm not saying we need they need the oppression, but that goes back to there's gonna have to be things in place that either encourages, or we want to say forces them to learn some things if you want to get it, or, you know, there's going to probably be some acceptance that it's just not going to be any better because they're so stuck in that mindset, you know, and everybody want to blame white America for it. I mean, that's fine, whatever the reason. I just feel like, you know, I just look. I mean, we've lost community. Look at how we tearing each other up, man.
Yeah. That's true.
We've lost Black people. We were all about community.
Right.
So we've lost that. And that's the thing Black people don't want to talk about. You know, this is what makes us, to me, open targets for all the stuff they're doing because they know we're disconnected. The Jewish community is together. Even Hispanic community, the LGBTQ, LYZ, everybody just is connected. All these communities are connected, but we're so all over the place, and so that makes us easy targets. Because the only time we'll come together is to turn up. Yeah. But if you got on there and said, I need every Black person in Nashville or every Black person in Chicago to write your alderman, Susie, and tell them, do not do this, maybe 100 people would write. And it's not, you ain't got to use a stamp. You can go online, send them an email through the legislative, those websites. You can send an email.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to write a letter, go buy a stamp, drop it at the post office. You don't even got to do that. But we won't. So even if they took, that's my point when I answered my question earlier about my concerns. Will we now rise? Because now we've got people saying, oh my God, we see what you guys are going through. How can we help? Now the spotlight's going to turn right back on us. It's like, now wait a minute, we did our part. We've been doing our part. What y'all gonna do? And they still sitting at the pool, well, ain't nobody helping us, and don't nobody put me in the pool. And be like, but we got you right to the pool. All you had to do was stick your toe in.
Right.
Or he could have tripped somebody on their way in there. Oh, hell no. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Heck no.
It's all right.
Heck no. I'm not, hell no. I'm not, you ain't getting in there, boom, make them hit the, trip. I'd trip somebody. Because that's what we do to each other.
Right. No doubt.
So, why not be that assertive? Why not have that same type of assertive and aggression per se, when trying to accomplish to be better? So no, I 30% yes, 70%. No, I don't see it. That's just my opinion.
Gotcha. Okay, so before I let you go, is there anything going on? Anything coming up? What's happening that you want the people to know about?
Well, right now, man, I'm just, looking forward to doing more of these shows. We got to do some more of this, man.
Yes, we certainly will. No doubt.
We just, right now, I'm just focusing on school and I'm doing some mentoring with some people, just, kind of like this, just trying to do my part, man, to make a difference and impact lives and hopefully empower this next generation to be better than us. And take that mantle and run with it. That whole Joshua generation, take it and run with it and climb the mountains that we didn't. We were too scared to, or, we were, oh my God, they're giants over there. So, take it and all that, but I'm looking forward to doing some things, more stuff like this that we can just give people a voice. And or be the voice,
right,
of people, and give them something to, as you would say, help us clean up our own house. I think that the body of Christ, and I'm glad we started off with the church in the body of Christ, we really got some internal stuff we need to do. Clean up our house. And so I want to be a part getting my house clean, because I'm not perfect. But also, we're all helping each other clean up our own houses so that we can be that light to the world that Jesus says that's what I feel like it's a commandment. That's what we're supposed to do. We're all here for something. So that's what's going on with me. It's just figuring out my next, being here in Chicago now. And how does that manifest? How does all that I shared, how does that come out? Does it do more podcasts? Does it do more talk formats like this? Does it do books? Does it do teaching? And so that's where we are. That's where we are. Just trying to get all that together, man.
Fantastic. Well, keep us posted, man, because we definitely want to support whatever it is you got happening. Yeah.
And if you're allowed, I'll be back.
Yes, you certainly will. No doubt. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Matter of fact, we got a few ideas brewing. So yes, sir.
I think we got this good vibe here. So this is gonna be good.
No doubt. Well, thanks for being a part of the show. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks again, and we look forward to doing this again, sir. Have a good night, man.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Yes, sir.